Hi, this is Eric Hall with the Fuze magazine today, and we had the pleasure of sitting down to chat with Matt Sorum for one of the most colorful bands touring right now, the Kings of Chaos. Thank you for sitting down and talking with us tonight, Matt.
Yeah, man, you got it. Appreciate you having me.
Awesome. Now, I'm going to lead right into the questions. We've got some pretty good ones set up for you tonight. Now, you guys have a show coming up Thursday, December 22nd at the Turning Stone Casino. Can you tell us and the fans a little bit about the band and this whole project and how it came together?
Well, you know, Kings of Chaos have been doing it for a few years now. We've been mainly overseas. I've been doing a lot of shows like in South America. Went to Africa twice. Getting ready to do some other dates overseas next year. But we've been really focusing on, you know, going where the people want us. And we got offered to come out to Turning Stone. And basically it's my bucket list supergroup, I call it. And it's like a, you know, the super band of the century, I like to refer to it as, because I play with all of my peers, but also some of my heroes, you know. I mean, I got Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, Robin Zander from Cheap Trick, and then probably the youngest guy in the band, Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, Robert DeLeo from Stone Temple Pilots, Billy Duffy, my old bandmate from The Cult, because before I was in Guns N' Roses, I was in The Cult. And I've also got one of my favorite all-time guitar players, Steve Stevens, from Billy Idol's band. And basically, we put together a kick-ass set list that will just blow your mind. It's like, it's just chock full of hits. We play, anybody that's on that stage has been involved with writing these songs. STP, you know, The Cult, Billy Idol. We do, of course, ZZ Top, Cheap Trick. And we mix it up by having other people sing other people's songs, and then we also incorporate a couple of our favorite cover songs that everyone loves, you know. And then we do a pretty much a 2-hour set. We got a great acoustic set in the middle where you're going to hear some songs played different than you might have ever heard them before. So it's a super kick-ass show. We just got done doing it in Las Vegas. We did a run of shows there, and we're getting ready to bring it to the East Coast. And by the time we get to Turning Stone, we're going to be definitely on fire, because that's towards the end of the run. So it's going to be kick-ass.
Nice. Now, this touring project has had many stars involved in the past 4 years you guys been together, such as Joe Perry and Slash. For each tour, how many members are chosen?
Well, the way it works is I usually like to bring a variety of singers, because the idea of the show is to give people a lot of bang for their buck. So they're seeing a lot of people up there that they like, if they're fans of any of the bands. And the combination of all the bands, you're going to get a lot of like action on stage and collaborations that are different than what you're normally seeing. Like if you go to see ZZ Top, you know what you're going to get. You know what you're going to get when you see Cheap Trick. You know what you're going to get when you see The Cult. You know, Billy Idol, whatever. So I mix it up. I make the set list, and everyone's kind of like stepping up to the challenge, you know, and then we get this variety of versions of music that are super fresh. And, you know, we're having a really good time doing it, so the audience is kind of, you know, involved in that experience as well, because it's fresh, you know.
Oh, absolutely. You know, myself, I've been to many, many, many shows, and you can almost predict what's going to happen and when a lot of bands, they have a certain way they do their sets, and, you know, whether it's the theatrics, the pyro, whatever it might be, they might have, you know, dialogue in the shows, and it's all predictable at times. You know, when you go to see some of your favorite bands, you know what's going to happen and when. So that becomes a little disappointing after a while to go keep seeing a live show. To see something that's, you know, going to be a little bit fresh and mix all the collaborations together is actually going to be super interesting, especially as a fan myself. So,
yeah,
you know, kudos and hats off to you guys.
Emotions up there, you know, it's definitely we're all like on our best behavior, and we've definitely, you know, there's a lot of guys up there that had a lot of years of experience, and we're all professionals. I like bringing in guys that I love to play with. Number one. Number two, that they're the best at what they do. And they're there to put on a great show. You know, there's no sort of ifs, ands, or buts about the fact that we're trying to give the audience the best show possible. And that's what we're going to do, man. I mean, I want people to come out and see this. I mean, I've done
kind of playing off that. You've been involved in the music world for 4 decades, or probably even more, you know, being a garage band at some point. At this point in your career, what's it like to be involved playing with so many of those talented musicians up there, including current and future Hall of Famers?
Well, I mean, you know, you think when you're in the business of playing music, you know, at some point you've been in a band, that band ends, like Velvet Revolver. When that ended, I was like, well, what am I going to do next? You know, and then, you know, a door opens and all of a sudden you're playing on stage with Billy Gibbons or Alice Cooper or Joe Perry, or, you know, all these different guys that come along, and you're like, wow, you know, it's pretty spectacular, because I just didn't know it was going to grow into this thing. And, you know, it's just super cool to be up there with my heroes and playing their music. And we got about
now, do you get a little starstruck at times?
Of rock and roll up there. You know, we got, you know, guys that came before me, you know, then my generation, and, you know, Stone Temple Pilots came from a little bit younger, and then obviously Linkin Park was a little bit younger than that. So you're getting kind of a wide variety of, like, what I call the greatest of rock and roll. I mean, there really isn't a lot of it out there that's survived to a point where we can put it all on one stage. And
absolutely. Now, have you gotten a little bit starstruck when you've met some of these musicians at some point, when you start playing on stage with them, and you're like, wow, I'm actually playing on stage with, you know, say Billy Gibbons, or, you know, as an example?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, the fact that I'm doing it, I never take it for granted. And I'm very, very lucky that I've been able to be in the position that I can pick up the phone and call these guys. You know, I'm working on another show today that I got a call for, and I've been on the phone with, you know, Joe Perry, and, you know, and I've been talking to Sammy Hagar and all my friends. You know, we every once in a while I got to go, hey, man, you know, this is pretty cool. I mean, I got a good life. The fact that these guys call me back, number one, I'm like, you know, I'm like, maybe I didn't make too many enemies along the way. You know, I got friends in this business, and this is really a way for us to get together. And when we all leave, we're like, when we go off to do our prospective gigs, because everyone's got regular jobs of, you know, their band, or what I call their day job, you know, we all go, hey, man, when am I going to see you guys again, you know? That's really the way it is in rock and roll. We're all touring, we're all working, we're all over the world, you know, so we cross paths occasionally. So to get together and do it in a musical format and hang out and tell stories and, hey, what happened on your tour? And I mean, that's what goes down. So it's super fun-filled for us as musicians, and then that will be something that you'll see coming off the stage. You'll see a bunch of happy guys. And
that's awesome.
There's a lot of bands out there that I've been in that, you know, it's not always happy backstage, and it's not happy in the business, or, you know, stuff's going on or whatever. So we don't bring any ego into this. There's no drama. There's no agenda. You know, we're not out trying to do a massive cash grab. This is a way for us to get out and play together. And I really want to see where this thing, you know, leads. It could turn into a regular band. We could make music. I don't know yet. And I like the organic structure of things falling into place when they're supposed to. And the more these guys do it, and the way I run a production, everyone, you know, is taken care of, and everyone calls me, when are we doing it again? You know, it's like, so it's cool. You'll see.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm just going to spin off one of your previous answers there. Now, I always find I'm super intrigued to learn what everybody does during the day for day jobs. You know, you were speaking that everybody has day jobs. They might run a restaurant. They might do this. They might play other gigs. What do you do during the days?
Well, you know, I'm actually, you know, like when I say day jobs for guys like Billy Gibbons, I consider that ZZ Top, or, you know, Rob and Xander, I consider that Cheap Trick, or, you know, they have their bands they're in, right? But myself, I'm just an entrepreneur now. I'm in an entrepreneurial phase of my life. I'm constantly creating. So creating is just part of the makeup of what I do. I'm working on other projects. I'm working on doing tech stuff. I'm involved in some websites. It's all like just envisioning something and moving forward with it. And Kings of Chaos is really a creative thing, and I have to put all my energy together to make it transpire, and happen, So, to get ready to go out and do a tour like this, this is taking a couple months in the works, of talking and getting schedules, and and I do all of it. I'm the leader, so I'm making sure everything's handled. What's getting done on the gear, who's going from place to point B to B, A to B, and so it's a lot of work, but I don't mind, because once I finally get up on that stage and play the music, which is the most important part, it's a success. It's not that it has to be in the most, you're not playing a stadium, but you're playing a theater that people have come to see you and bought a ticket, and they believe in you, and they're a fan, and that's all you can ask for as a musician. You're just happy and blessed to be able to have a career playing music and traveling the world, and so I just kind of take my life like that. I just go one step at a time, and everything comes, and it just has always been something that I can't just sit on my couch and watch TV and hope that the phone rings. It's like I gotta work towards a goal. I gotta pick up the phone. I gotta make calls. I've been a drummer in the music business now, professionally, for going on 40 years.
Yes, and I was looking at it said back in at least 75, so you're looking at least at that point, and some of those things are,
I haven't had to have a real job yet, let me tell you. I consider this a blessing, playing music and traveling, and so far so good, and I just keep at it, and I've been in so many great bands that have come and gone and then come back again or whatever, and most musicians that are coming up wish they could, or have a dream that it could be in one great band, and I've been in multiple great bands, so I'm very, very fortunate, and this is probably the coolest, funnest thing I've ever done, though. Not just because I'm in charge.
Oh, I can imagine. Imagine. Actually, I think I caught the show I shot you at Turning Stone last time you guys came around, but you were with Hollywood Vampires, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was a very cool show. So that that's very similar to what you guys are doing now, but a smaller version.
A little bit different, because we play tribute to, we do a tribute to all the belated rock stars with that band. Hollywood Vampires is an old drinking club, and the concept of that band is a little bit different because we don't play our own music really per se. We play other people's music, and
right,
but it's a cool band too. So the fact that I can play with Alice Cooper and Johnny Depp in that band, that's just like, you're like, what? You kind of go, huh? How did I get into this situation? You know what I mean?
We're actually, a lot of us were surprised how well Johnny Depp did. And his stage show, he just did very well. He kept right up with you guys. So
Johnny's a rock star. He definitely looks the part. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
So, hey, man, it was really great to talk to you. If you got another question, I got to jump on my other interview, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me run through here real quick, see what we're going to do. Now, have you guys had any serious talk about getting some music going and recorded? I know there's been talk the past 4 years about it.
Yeah, well, I'm throwing out the ideas, and it's, the thing about being in the music business is there is some politics involved. Like if someone's got a record coming out, like let's say Chester, for instance, he's got Linkin Park coming out, so he can't do a song with me right now to be on the radio or whatever. So I got to wait and see when he's available, that it's not going to conflict with him or, Corey Taylor or Billy Gibbons or who's releasing music. So it's all about timing. It's all about getting guys when they got the time and then But I'm definitely pushing in that direction for sure. I'm going to try to record some stuff and get.
That's awesome. Now, if you guys are you already planning a 2017 tour? And if so, are you going to still have a lot of the current members, or is there any scoops that we can get on any new members that might be joining up with you guys?
I can't give you the full scoop yet, but I got something real exciting coming down the pike. Yeah, and can't say who yet because it's not signed, sealed, and delivered, if you will. I mean, believe it or not, we have to do like contracts and stuff to get people to say, "Hey, I'm there," you know. And then I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I got some really cool stuff happening next year. And
okay.
Yeah.
Now I got just two final questions for you. We like to ask a couple off-the-wall questions. The first one is a multiple choice. You guys are on the road constantly. What's the band's favorite type of hangout joints? Do you guys like sit-down restaurants for fast food? Or do you like bars, bowling alleys, or D, other?
Miniature golf. We said we can't do that right now. It's snowing. But I like to bowl. I'm a bowler. We have a rock and roll bowling night out in Hollywood. We do a rock and roll bowling thing. That's always been kind of a tradition. But, when I'm with Billy Gibbons, it's super cool because he's like Mr. Adventure guy, and we usually go we'll go out antiquing or looking at weird stuff. He's like very eccentric, and he likes to go shopping. So we go shopping. Alice Cooper loves to go to the mall. I don't know if you knew that, but Alice Cooper loves to go to the mall, and he loves shopping. And then I like finding cool restaurants. It's not as much bars and stuff anymore for me. I'm not as much of a bar guy as I used to be.
Oh, yeah. A lot of the guys are starting to wind down, and those hangovers aren't as easy to get over.
Yeah,
so.
no. And then I like to have dinners with the band together, so we can laugh and do that when we have a day off. That is, I mean, this run on the East
right.
will be pretty steady. So
it's nice to actually just have a nice meal and have a couple drinks over dinner versus trying to do as many shots as possible and forget about everything.
Quite a bit in the 80s, 90s, and.
Oh, yeah. I'm right there with you. I was probably listening to GNR during that period.
Oh yeah.
All right, I got one final question for you. Now, local original music, and I travel a lot myself, and you'd be surprised how much our circle of life is very parallel. And I notice a lot of original music of all kinds. It's not just rock and roll, not just metal. It seems to be having a very hard time the past 2 to 3 years, and some would say even more. With venues shutting down, the introduction of social media as a form of advertising or the internet, and also the lure of pay-to-play on shows. How do you feel local musicians or bands can succeed in this current time that we all live in?
Well, young bands, I mean, I really, my heart goes out to them because it's a tough game to get in, these days. I mean, there's not a lot of love out there, especially for rock and roll. But in my opinion, the live bands always win. It's like figure out a way to get out and play. It's not about money. It's got to be in your heart. It's got to be in your soul, and you got to believe in yourself. And I spent a lot of years on the club circuit before I made a nickel playing music, right? And it was never about that. It was never about You got to figure out a way to do it. You got to figure out a way to get somebody to believe in you and maybe even back you and get you out there. I mean, I got a guy named Frankie Perez opening for me. I think he's a superstar singer. He's amazing. And he came to me and said, "Hey man, I want to open." I said, "Well, if you can get yourself there, let's do it." And he figured out a way to make it happen. And you just got to be creative, in all aspects of life in general. But, in music nowadays, first of all, it's got to be great. And I think maybe in a way, all the stuff that's happened, there was a point there where, there was a million bands getting record deals and everyone was, all this stuff was happening and we got kind of infiltrated with all this crappy music. And I just think good music will prevail, great songs. If you believe in yourself, get out there, go for it. Just got to hustle, man. And nothing's easy, so Don't think you can just start a band, jump in the business, and be like, woohoo! You know, it's not like that. It just doesn't work that way. So, I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and I've, you know, got all the accolades of rock and roll. I got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I still work my ass off. So, you know,
oh, I can imagine.
It's always going to be hard work. Life's just like that, you know. So,
do you feel that like YouTube and other free music sharing venues or outlets have hurt the music business, making it less profitable, where you have to go out on the road?
Shit changes, you know. That's just the way it is, you know. Uber came along, and the taxi cab people are pissed off. So you're like, well, figure it out. It's like, got to figure out the new model, you know. It's got to be like, well, it is changed, and we can't like sit and naysay it. All we have to, you know, we have to figure out how to make it work. And you know, shit, man, I'm on social media. I'm tweeting and Instagramming and Facebooking, and you know, in the old days, that wasn't even in the mindset. We didn't even have, you know, it was more about rock and roll mystique. Now you're like, hey, look at me, you know, I got my thing, but. You know?
Yeah, the most you could do is scab a recording off the radio on your cassette player.
It's a change. It's a changing time. It's a changing tide. It's just like, okay, we got to do it, you know. So, but hey, man, I got to jump because I'm 15 minutes late.
Yeah, absolutely. We, you know, we super appreciate it, and you know, hope you have a great Christmas and New Year's coming up. And I just want to, you know, say that, you know, this wraps up all our questions with Hall of Famer Matt Sorum tonight. And we greatly appreciate you take your time out to speak with the Fuze magazine. And do you have any last thoughts for everyone coming out to see the show Thursday?
Oh, man, just, you know, I hope you make it out and get your ho-ho-ho on before you get your Christmas on. So it'll be a good rock show before you got to sit down and, you know, do the Christmas presents and the holiday season and everything. So hope you come. Rock out.
That's awesome. I'll hopefully be seeing you there. And this is Eric Hall of the Fuze magazine, and we look forward to seeing Kings of Chaos and all the fans on December 22nd at the Turning Stone Casino and Resort in Verona, New York. And cheers, everyone.